Hello?
Yeah, please.
Hello, welcome you all to Team 2. Today is the 10th meetup of Team 2. What is Team 2? We all know communication and leadership are the key skills for jobs in the corporate world. The objective of Team 2 is to promote communication, collaboration, public speaking, social and leadership skills. Why Team 2? Through Team 2, we are connecting new generations. Team 2 is for collaborations. There are lots of experience within the group itself. For higher studies or jobs, you can get guidance. People within the community can help each other. Team 2 is for communication. We have a planned approach for communication and skill development with projects. Team 2 is for leadership. We are interacting with leaders as guest speakers to our session and provide a chance for discussing with them. So set aside an hour every weekend for self-development. We have two streams at present, technology stream and communication stream. So please join and grow with us. Today we have two guest speakers, Mr. Saji Matthew and Mr. Jithu Nirutambat. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. Let me call Dia to introduce our first speaker, Mr. Saji. Dia, you're there.
Hello everyone, I'm Dia. I'll be introducing you to our first guest speaker. Our first guest speaker is Mr. Saji Matthew. He's working as a Chief Operating Officer of Baby Memorial Hospital Limited, Kozhikode. Mr. Saji plays a major role in determining the organization's operations, human resources, and IT strategies, and is actively involved in day-to-day activities of the organization. No matter how busy he endures, that he finds time to personally mentor staff and help them hone their skills. Prior to joining Baby Memorial Hospital, Saji worked with the UST Global, Monetary Authority of Singapore, Capgemini, and Tata Consultancy Services in India, Singapore, Australia, Europe, and North America. He holds master's degree in software engineering from National University of Singapore and digital electronics from Cochin University of Science and Technology. He bagged the first rank in electrical and electronics engineering from University of Kerala in 1991. He has got so many awards, some of which are healthcare honors in digital innovation, most influential HR leaders in India title for his novel initiatives and commitment towards people development. He is also recognized one among 50 South India's most talented HR leaders. Under his leadership, the organization bagged the Best Hospital to Work For Award in 2019, Kaizen Implementation Award in 2018, Express Healthcare Excellence Award in 2019, and Digital Adoption Platform Award in 2019. Saji is the founder of health tech startup MMF Software Solutions and has incubated 3 other startup firms in the past. He is a guide to IIM and NIT students in their academic projects and was visiting faculty to NIT Calicut School of Management Studies. He is also a speaker in health technology forums and judge to health technology competitions. Sir, we are honored to have you here with us today. Over to you.
Good evening to all of you. Thank you for the nice words. So today I'm going to talk about 2 different aspects. That's from my life, one from my student life. So the importance of having a mentor to guide you, to advise you in your career choices or in your academic choices. The other one is about being of significance to others. So in life, we consider success. What is success or what is significance? Significance over success. That is a new philosophy in leadership. That's about servant leadership. I did a mid-career switch at the age of 45. I've been working in the financial services sector, though coming from the technology background, I've been working all along in the last almost 20 years plus in the financial services sector. And all of a sudden, because of some personal reasons, I had to come back to Calicut, back to Kerala. Then I took a job in a health sector. Looking back, last 5 years I've been in the health sector. So I could leverage technology to transform the way we deliver care to the masses. So that's the need of the hour. Now we are all talking about new norms, how we are going to survive and thrive in a new norm. So we need a different approach in life, and that is a different philosophical approach in leadership itself. So the traditional one is about having power and money to dominate over others and the way we want. But in the new norm, in a connected world, we need, with the millennials, we need a different approach in leadership style that is about being a person of influence or a person of significance to others. So how do we, how our life matters, or how it matters to others what we do. So we may love what we do, but how it matters to others, that is more important. How is it going to impact others' life? So if we can work or choose a career which you may have a job, but if you find a career, either part of your job or outside of your job, which can impact others' life, if it can matters to others, so that will add significance to your life, so which will last forever. So that's what these two things to my life story I'm going to share. I'm coming from a village background. I did my primary schooling in a welfare school. That's a Harijan welfare school in my village. Later on, in an aided school, I did my upper primary school and high school studies. Then our time, it was college pre-degree studies. So after my pre-degree, while in the second year of pre-degree, I didn't have any specific plan. I mean, I didn't know what to do next. I didn't go for any entrance exam. Those days, the entrance coaching was gearing up. I didn't go for any specific entrance coaching or anything. When the exams were over, one of my classmates, his parents forced him to go for a entrance coaching. Then my father told me, oh, he's going for a coaching. We want to go. Okay, then I thought, okay, so far I was at home. I didn't experience any hostel life. So I want to just experience a hostel life going away from home. So that was my motivation to join an entrance coaching. So just went to Trivandrum, spent 2 months there, enjoy life, but at the same time also just refresh what I learned during the pre-degree classes. So sat through entrance exam. When the applications were invited, so I went through the application, the prospects. I didn't know what to choose, which course to choose. Okay, all I heard about is little knowledge on electrical, and then the radio, TV those days, so electronics. So okay, my first choice was electrical and electronics engineering. When the entrance ranking came, I was in a top ranking position, which any subject, I mean, any course which I would have selected, I would have got into. But I chose electrical and electronics engineering because I didn't have anybody to mentor or advise me which one to choose. Then in 1990, when we passed out, so that was the year Iraq invaded Kuwait, and globally we had a very bad situation. There weren't enough jobs for the graduates from engineering or other professional institutions. Then I wanted to, okay, did K. I went to IIT Mumbai. Then I didn't get the course I wanted into. Then came back again. That's why we all joined CUSAT. So I wanted to do computing, but later only, even after joining the engineering college of AK, I saw even a computer. I wanted to do really in computer science, but that year in CUSAT, they invited application much later. So the first one came from electronics department. So I joined electronics. So again into electronics, digital electronics. 2 years later, when we had a campus interview, I got a placement from TCS. So I joined a software firm did computer programming without learning anything except for 1 or 2 programming language. That time it was Fortran, I remember. Then later out of my initial training program in TCS, I learned C and COBOL. That is where my career started. I had the opportunity to go around the world, work in multiple continents, interact in many cultures, different cultures. Only in 2007, I did a degree in computer science. So that's much later, almost 17 years later, I started after my graduation, I did another, after my MTech in digital electronics, I did a another MTech in software engineering. That is where I learned computer science. And so looking backward, one of the life lessons I would say, so most of you are lucky enough, either your parents or your teachers, or you may have a mentor who is guiding you. So I saw the profile of the students who are there. Most of them are in IISER, IIT, some of the premium institutes in India. So your parents or somebody would have guided you, or because of the explosion in information now. So we have. But in terms of making the right choices in life, it is better to have a mentor, or it could be your parents, or it could be your teacher, or your close friend, somebody who can help you, mentor you, make a right choices. Coming from the villages, we didn't have access to. I didn't have access to an English newspaper those days. After my BTech, when the IITs invited, I had a 95% score. But with that, I could have got into some of the IIT for my MTech. But I didn't have access to an English newspaper those days, so I could not apply on time. I ended up in. So you're all lucky, I believe. So it's have a mentor who would help you to choose the right career. But then in the career, I worked initially with the Tata Consultancy Services. Later, I moved to Singapore. Almost for 10 years, I was in the Singapore Civil Service. So it's with the Monetary Authority of Singapore. I was a deputy director there in the Reserve and Monetary Management function. So predominantly technology, how we could use technology to provide better financial management in terms of managing the nation's reserve. And then so currently in India, we have all kinds of UPI, unified payment interfaces, and other electronic or digital payment mechanisms. When I was there way back into the year 2000, and we introduced MEPS, MEPS electronic payment systems, and similar kind of electronic payment system. I was part of that journey. Some of the leadership lessons that I learned in MAS Singapore. That was, I consider, looking backward in my professional life, that was a significant influence from that workplace. I was the only Indian in the Chinese-dominated work environment. Initially, it was a struggle to get noticed there. The situations proved to be, initially, it was very discouraging also. I consistently worked and then proven. And later, they give me an opportunity to work in some of the significant industry-wide projects, which is in 1 year, they even compensated me with 1 year worth of additional salary as bonus for doing one of the project there. So those days I was doing my MTech also. So I used to work from 8 in the morning, then 6 o'clock I go to university, 9 I come back to workplace, then I work till 12 o'clock, take a cab and go home. This was my routine for almost a year. That project was completed and it was a success. So they rewarded also for me, and they sponsored my education. So Singapore is a nation, would have read in the newspaper there. So many of the rich people now wanted to go and stay. It's considered to be the most safest, secure place, even in the COVID era. So in the pandemic era, it's considered to be one of the safest place in the world. So I had the opportunity to work there. Some of the leaders, so the current Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, and the Finance Minister, they were all my seniors, my managers when I was working there. One was the governor there, the current Finance Minister, the deputy, the current Prime Minister. Yep. So, sorry, there is a power interruption here. Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Now it's light going off. Okay, I will switch off the video for a while until the.
Yeah, sure.
So I learned some of the leadership lessons there, in the sense that when Singapore is a country which promotes the merit and performance-based organizations. So they were all, I learned in leadership, the humility, the servant leadership, walking that talk that's there. So as I said, I had the opportunity to work with the current ministers, some of the ministers, who is one of the prime minister itself was my boss there. So they used to drive to work, still they are. And while at office there, it's unlike the politicians that we see in India. So they go with escort, and they'll be surrounded by so many people, and they project to elevate themselves to a position where they make themselves not approachable. My experience in Singapore, which is the other way, they are very humble, very humility. They expect humility. At workplace they come to, because you are being the boss. I had the opportunity to have lunch with them and private meetings with them. They are very open. They listen to them. They promote the merit. So that's where I learned some of the lessons of this new leadership philosophy called servant leadership. So then, 2010, I came back to India with all these experience in Singapore and other countries. Had an opportunity to work in some of the software firms in India. It was really a shock for me because in terms of change, I could not actually survive because for so many reasons. The workplace that I had the experience in Singapore, I send an email, actually expect the response. They will send within a day, I get a response. If at least a response is sent, okay, I'm busy, I will respond to you back, or with a reply to my mail. I don't need to go. So I joined a software firm here, leading their consulting practices. I send mail. I expect the same thing to happen in India, but okay, I don't get any response in the expected time frame. Then I make a call, sir. Don't worry, I'm sending. In no time. So okay, I think they will send you, because I reminded them. No, you don't get any response. Then you go and stand behind them. Then only the work get done. So that's the kind of culture. It is different work culture. That is what I experience here. There it is like people are, okay, when at workplace, what they talk and what they do. Here you need a lot of push, especially now I work with a lot of youngsters in so many projects. It needs a lot of push, and we don't consider the quality, because we deliver something. The quality of the deliverable is of least botheration to us. That is how we work. So I could not actually, after a year or so, I could not survey here. So then I went to London, spent almost 3-4 years in London working with an investment bank. Then again, my family is already settled in Calicut. I was forced to come back. Then this time I came with a different mindset. So I wanted to adopt to the changing and want to make a change in the system here. So because so either you are change yourself or be part of the system and bring in a change. So that is what I am into. I'm leveraging technology to bring this transformation in healthcare. You know the paradox of Indian healthcare. We are a country with 1.3 billion population. We have 70 years of development, but the government cannot provide healthcare. So the government cannot meet the healthcare needs of the citizens. So we have policies in place to elevate poverty, but every year 6 crore families fall into poverty because of their healthcare spending. We have some of the best hospitals. Even the people from the West comes to India to take treatment, but majority of the Indians don't have access to quality healthcare accessible to them. So that is the paradox of Indian healthcare. Still, we are spending only 1.14 of our GDP on the healthcare. Most of the developed countries spend. America spend around 16% of their GDP on healthcare. Look at Indian healthcare. So that is very much exposed by the pandemic situations. We have seen the situations in, especially in the North India, UP, Uttarakhand, and some Bihar, some of the northern states. we are in a pathetic condition. Really, the Indian healthcare needs a lot of uplifting in terms of infrastructure, in terms of the capacity building, in terms of the resources. So I'm into how we can leverage, because it cannot be done overnight. It government needs, and the need to have some thought leadership at wherever we are placed in. So I'm in the current organization where I'm placed. I'm leveraging technology to bring in this transformations. We have done many projects in the past, how we can influence people, how we can build the capacity, that right from. So one of the interesting projects that I initially started doing it. So we are all familiar with Uber, Ola, that is in the transport space. We have this geo-tagged tracking, and then the productivity or the efficiency comes in by using the return trip, and you can easily. So in the hospital also, it's the transport, that's the patient or file or specimen transport is very. So we leverage the internal tracking system, real-time internal tracking system. So in-house, we developed a system. I mentored some of the startups, give the idea. We came up with a relatively low-cost technology. We implemented it. All our the porters, or we call in the hospital attenders, they are all made to carry a mobile phone with which we are able to connect and give them the task and assign the task, and transform those people. Otherwise, they were ignored as a significant contributor. So I will give some of their own testimony. So we use this technology. Now they are all smart crew members of our organization. Smart crew members. They use technology. One of the staff colleague came to me and saying, sir, I've been working in this organization for 15 years. We run every day, like right from 8 to 5 or 6 o'clock we work, and but end of the day, you don't know what you have done. There is no like a measurement of your work. With a digitized system, they are equipped with mobile gadgets to take the task and then perform. Their productivity is measured. End of the day, they know they have taken this many trips, and that's the work being done is measured, and they get a satisfaction. End of the day, what they have done, that is being valued by the organization, and they feel they are now valuable contributors to the healthcare. Because we do different jobs, but we are all equal in terms of contributing towards the healthcare or the treatment needs of the patient. So they are being valued. So one of the experience, how we could leverage technology to provide a better experience for our own staff, and also to provide a better experience for our own customers. Then with the pandemic situation, so we wanted to provide, because it's with the pandemic, onset of the pandemic, the situations change. Most of the organizations that we are all part of, that we are all hit badly in terms of our revenue, in terms of our services. We want to be, because being in the healthcare, we cannot run away, we cannot shut down. We want to continue the services. We leverage technology again here. Now we are leveraging technology in terms of cognitive computing capabilities of computer vision, natural language processing capabilities, cognitive, conversational AI to build a remote patient care, provide a better care for our patients. So I believe, so by changing our approach, so in terms of the leadership style, what I'm talking about, I have a small team, but in terms of I motivate them, I provide a different approach, because so with a small team, all of them are like together, we brainstorm, get the ideas, they are all projected. So it's a people management, it's a human, in terms of even our design approaches to some of the projects that we are doing, it's a human-centric. Keep the people at the center. So it's in the hospital, we talk about patient-centric approach to treatment. Keep the people that you are serving. So it's I'm leading 3 different functions of the organization. One is people management, HR. So it's keep your employees in the center. So provide a better experience right from, I leverage technology again here, right from hiring, talent hunting to their separation in the organization, how we can leverage technology to provide a better experience in the organizations, make them feel they are valued in the organizations. So this is because I have to approach leadership with the heart, head, my hands, and my habits. Because what I'm saying, that is the servant leadership approach here. This is what I learned in Singapore. I have to use my heart. I need to have a compassion, empathy for the people, whether as customers or my staff members, my colleagues in the organization. So that's why my heart is required. So that comes first. I need to use my head in terms of coming with ideas, in terms of having a point of view. I need to work on it with my hands and my habits. How do I organize my team? How do I provide the required leadership to them? How do I motivate them? How do I bring them together? Keep in the all, and how to get the work being done through. That's the habit. So that's the uniqueness of the servant leadership habits. So having confidence, exhibiting the humility rather than feeling pride or feeling fear of the people. I'm not fear of people who may take up my position. So I'm not pride on my position as a leader of the organizations, but I approach with humility, with confidence. I give the required confidence to team to come up with new ideas, leverage technology to transform. During the COVID, now we are better equipped with the technology to provide a better care to the patients that we are. So we are now, the technology adoption is accelerated because of the COVID situation. So it's plenty of opportunity in India. Now we are looking at one of the UN objectives for the Sustainable Development Goal is to provide universal health care. So to achieve that universal health care for the masses, to the humanity, so we need to make this healthcare, which I am part of, we have to make it acceptable, accessible, acceptable, and we have to make it adoptable. So to do that one, only technology can, in terms of building the capacity, in terms of making it reach out to the masses, the technology can do the transformation. So we are making or working with a lot of same like-minded people in terms of leveraging, that is both the academic, this one, and with the startup ecosystem. I'm part of one of the mentor in the Kerala startup mission. And also I have a startup with ourselves. So in the ambulatory care, emergency care, into the remote patient care, in virtual care, caring for the elderly and the sick at the comfort of their home, leveraging technology, capturing and monitoring from the keeping the patients at their home, and then the experts connect remotely and virtually to reach out to them. That's some of the works that we are doing it. So now comes the questions. So making money for myself, that is okay. Maybe people consider, or doing something that consider to be successful in life. But how do we ignite others? How do we impact others' life? So that is a life of a leadership style of being significant to others. So now I made a career switch, as I was talking about. I've been working in the financial service industry for almost 20 plus years. The last 5 years I've been working in the healthcare. Looking back, I don't regret for making this mid-career switch. So when I started career, so the only background I have is my wife is a practicing doctor in the family that I'm married from. Rest of my family members are all doctors. That's only background I had in the healthcare. I know technology. I had a leadership or managerial skills from the previous workplace. With that one, I joined this organization. The last 5 years, I could make what I consider as a significant contributions in terms of impacting others' life. That is in terms of providing a better experience for our employees, and also a delightful experience for our patients, the customers that are coming to us. So wherever you are placed, choose a career where you can play as a person, you can become a person of significance to others. So that's the 2 life lessons from my career that I wanted to share with the youngsters. Thank you for the patient listening. So back to you, Ashraf. Yeah.
Thank you, Saji. It was, a wonderful experience, and it was very inspiring, story actually for the young. Actually, I wanted to ask you, you already given two advices, right,
Yes.
to the younger generation. So, in terms of the technology in healthcare, right? Actually, how do you compare, other people? I mean, the advancement of technology to healthcare, and where you are now. How do you?
In
Get
terms of, if you compare, I mean, it's we can do a comparison between financial services or the banking sector and the health sector. I would say we are, in terms of adoption, health sector is 5 years behind other industries, because there are a lot of historical reasons behind. Because main thing is the adoption among the clinicians, the doctors. The doctors consider themselves using adoption of technology is kind of a hindrance to them, and that is where we are very careful in terms of rolling out new systems. We, rather than making it a threat to the doctors, if you look at in terms of the technology, with the artificial intelligence and some of the cognitive capabilities of computing, clinical decision support or reading out MRI, CT, diagnosis front or the treatment front or rehabilitation. So now the technology plays a, so now we are placing technology is something which will augment their capabilities. One of the claim on technology is, if you look at hospitals who have adopted electronic medical recording or the computerization, the computer is taking away the natural interaction between a doctor and a patient, because the doctor has to look into a screen most of the time while he is talking, rather than looking at the patient face to face. The computer is actually taking away that one. So many of them feel, and many of them complain that one, your technology is taking away a better interaction we had in the past. So we are now losing that personal touch, because in healthcare, the touch, emotional connect, that all matters, because it's people who are coming to seek your treatment. They need emotional support. They are very distressed. So you need to express your empathy, compassion. You need to touch them. Really, you need to, with your fingers, you need to touch them. So that's the magical touch of the doctors, which will give them the comfort and the confidence. And that plays a major role in your recovery process, not just the medicine alone. All these positive touch or interactions by the clinicians or the care team may play. The computer that took away this natural interaction. Now we are looking at technology, the new artificial intelligence or machine learning technology in terms of natural language processing, computer recognition, which can bring in this natural interaction back. Today I was attending a demonstration. A Mumbai-based company had already come up with a NLP-based solution to that one. So you don't look at to computer screen, you just talk to the patient. That they have as of now achieved in English language, and they are now exploring vernacular languages also. So you just talk to the patient. So the listening, the device, so there will be a device which will listen to this conversation, understand the keywords, that will come up with your case note. All you need to do is, after your conversation, just review the case sheet. It will capture the content, and also it will reformat the case sheet in the way, because the doctors have right from the MBBS days, they were taught to collect the information in a way. So what is your history of present illness, family history, present complaint, then they reach out to certain investigation, prognosis, then your provisional diagnosis, then your treatment plan, then your discharge advices. They have a certain structured way of capturing this information, but the conversation could be more of an unstructured way. So the technology now is going to bring that natural interaction back. So we are now looking at using, so the same technology which is being blamed for taking away the natural interaction, we are now leveraging the same technology to bring the interaction and provide a better care. Because, you know, even the smartest doctor in the world may not remember more than 5,000 medicines. Look at the amount of knowledge that is coming into the clinical field. So way back in 1970s and the medical knowledge was doubled every like 5 years. in 2000 it was becoming every year. Now in 2020 we are every 14 days the medical knowledge is double. Who in the world can get this knowledge? So with the machine only can do that one. So we are now looking at clinical decision support systems which will augment the doctors. The doctor need to be in the forefront. All the frontline workers need to be. They will be okay what they are going to do. So they need to express that empathy. They need to listen to people. The mundane task will be taken over while a doctor talking to the patient. The computer will capture. You may be where you will be. I mean, maybe later Jithu will explain with some of the gadgets he is coming up. It will measure your vitals. So all your vitals, health indicators are there captured. Even with algorithms, we can have early warning scores. Even before you get COVID or you are getting into oxygen saturation level, it will give you an early warning, which will help you to, or it will alert your care team or the clinician. So, and that will help you to take immediate actions on that one. So the technology is now going to augment and enhance the doctor's capability. We need people in the forefront to provide the compassionate care. So I accept the fact that one, in terms of adoption, the technology is there. They are, in terms of adoption, we were like compared to the financial services industry, we are far behind. But thanks to COVID, we in an organization, if you talk, what we talk about CEO or a CTO, CAO, what they could not achieve, COVID could now achieve in terms of digital adoption. So we are, whether it is doctors, whether it is staff nurses or the customer itself. So some of the innovations that we have done, we are now able to provide an end-to-end touchless service in the hospital. You can make a doctor's booking online, make a payment online when they come to the hospital. Don't go to a counter. It's a geotag. From the hospital only, we will permit them to do the check-in because we count data. So go to the wait outside the doctor's chamber. Their queue management is there. While waiting for the, you give your version of the story, your vitals and your complaint, all those things you capture in the app. So by the time you reach there, or in the with the National Digital Health Mission and trying up, if you have a EHR on your mobile, you can share your entire health history to the doctor. We haven't reached to that stage yet, but with the current system, we can give what your current present complaint. By the time you meet the doctor, the information is with the doctor. The doctor is able to see you, give the advice, either in a teleconsultation mode or in the physical in-clinic mode. And then your report is available so that you can download from your own mobile, your investigation reports with less touch, because the COVID forced us to move from the traditional operating modes into a newer model. So now we are with in the new normal, we are with the newer delivery care models.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Saji. Anybody else, any questions? I think we are maybe a little bit overshooting time. So quickly, now I will, call Dia to introduce our second speaker, Jithu. Dia, you're there, right?
Yes. Our next guest speaker is Mr. Jithu. He is the co-founder and CEO of Atoll Solutions Private Limited, a company focused on Internet of Things and system integrations. Mr. Jithu did his Masters of Technology in Digital Electronics from Cochin University of Science and Technology, Kerala. He worked about 27 plus years in embedded technology. He has run business-to-business Internet of Things company over 5 years with sharp focus on research and development. He successfully built wireless ecosystem for Texas Instruments in India and Asia Pacific region. He led worldwide partner management team for USA, Europe, and Asia Pacific regions from India. He worked with Texas Instruments Incorporated USA as product marketing manager and moved to director of business development for wireless business in India. Over the years, he built strong relationship with wireless ecosystem. He is now following his passion of being an entrepreneur in the area of wireless Internet of Things domain and founded the company Atoll Solutions Private Limited in Bangalore. His company is a leader in complete IoT solutions in many verticals. Main focus areas include product development, platform integration, and end-to-end solution deployment. Sir, we are honored to have you here with us today. Over to you.
Thank you, Dia. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There are a lot of things common between myself, Ashraf, Saji. Saji took a lot of my initial lives because we had very common life. Even though we were born maybe 250 kilometers away from each other. I remember I studied in a place called Thurayur, which is in Kozhikode. My school was Bafakitangal Memorial Secondary School. I remember passing out in 1984. That was the worst school in Kerala. 7 out of 141 people passed 10th exam. I was maybe 500 marks or something for me. Second was 360 or something. From there, basically, we didn't have any background. I think even Ashraf also would have gone through. We were born and studied at maybe worst time in terms of dreams and opportunity. You look at even in the +2, I think you guys are all learning in +2 with individual attention also, because I studied in a college called Madapalli College for 11th and 12th. In my class, there are 141 students for English. 141 students. Forget about individual attention. You will not hear what the teacher is talking. But life went through. There was no problem. I never felt that we were disadvantaged or any of that. And the same way as Saji, we didn't have anybody to tell what to write. I liked electrical and electronics, and I wrote. I also got very good rank in terms of entrance. I got into Kannanur Engineering College. And one thing throughout this I experienced was that whatever I was doing, I was liking it in terms of I love it. That's why it doesn't feel that I am doing some extra work or anything like that. Even we did together, all three of us were together in Cochin University doing MTech. I was very different from others. I think Saji, we learned quite a lot from him. He was in Malayalam, we say Satya Christiani, because he did a lot of stuff for community. Even then, I learned a lot from him in terms of be truthful. It doesn't have consequence, will not be very great in terms of being truthful in an environment like that. But be strong and stay focused and be truthful. That was one of them. And treat everybody equally. That was the second principle, which I have learned from Saji and others in our class and continued with that. In terms of my biggest change in my life happened in terms of understanding and liking technology was just after Masters. I joined an organization called DRDO. More than the organization, they have a training program, which I've seen the best. It is known as Electronic Fellowship Course. It was the best I have ever seen because 1 year they trained us in electronics very well, because I am an electrical guy, and then MTech was not sufficient to be learning anything, but they taught us end to end in terms of applied electronics for 1 year. And more than that, they also trained us in terms of management. And an amazing trip, from end to end, Cochin to Himalayas, we traveled for 1 month. And that was my best time in terms of understanding the importance of being outside. I love, even now, that is my favorite thing of trekking. I love Himalayas. It is just because of my stint with the RDO. But I didn't stay back there. I joined Texas Instruments, and I was the first marketing guy from an engineering-led organization in India. It was an amazing experience working with people, different walks of life, from Taiwan to Israel, from Jordan to even any part of French, everywhere, one thing I felt that human beings are very similar. It doesn't matter. We will have inhibitions, we will have phobia, everything will be there, but you go close to them. They all are nice in terms of the values. Most of them have similar value system. That is one learning I had in terms of going there. Then I was getting bored in terms of one problem with people are, for me specifically, I don't like stability. I don't like stability. I was very stable. I was living on my aura too much in terms of when you feel that when it rains, you don't get drenched. That means that you are not learning anything every day. Very comfortable. I felt that comfort feeling in Texas Instruments, and I left after 16 years. Left a lot of stock options and everything like that, and started my entrepreneurship journey. Entrepreneurship journey is not easy, not at all easy in terms of life, because there is always something called a monthly check which comes to you. In this particular case, what happens is that you are not bothered about your monthly check. That never happens for a long time. But you have to take care of at least people who trust you, who join you from even better opportunity than what you're offering them in terms of salary or anything. They join you. It is a huge responsibility. One thing I'm very proud of is that I've been running my own stuff for over 10 years now. 11, yeah, almost 10 years. Never I have missed a salary for any of the employees. Missing the salary is one thing. Always paid before 4th of the month. That gives a trust in them, saying that I have some kind of a stability so that they can contribute well when they are working. But that doesn't mean that we didn't go through bad patch. We went through a lot of bad patch, but I took my money and then put it in the company and gave salary. That was one of the, I feel that one of the great thing I have done. In terms of the company, we work, we are a sensor to cloud IoT company. Saji was talking about RTLS. We use RTLS. We created RTLS technology, but we are a horizontal technology company. We work with hospitals. We work with the biggest work I'm doing is safety with a US warehouse company. Wherever the basic idea for us is that you have a scalable technology. There, using that, people who are smarter in their own area. There are people like Saji and his team in hospital. They utilize it to, what we focus on is location intelligence. They utilize it for their application. People from Industry 4.0, they use it for improving efficiency or improving revenue for a industry. Similar way in smart places, for example, offices and things like that, they use it to improve their overall efficiency of the office. But we focus on improving technology and bringing in new and not and affordable technology to cover that. That's the way we work. Something which we're just starting to work with is with the Rajasthan government and JPIAGO. JPIAGO is a John Hopkins University's group. We work with them in terms of building a solution with Accenture and us. Help, in North India, I think Saji touched it, specifically in Rajasthan and Bihar and places like that. There is a huge problem in terms of infant mortality, as well as even the pregnant mother dies in many cases because of complexities. We are building a series of devices, interface that with a Android tablet, and create a workflow for the primary health centers to get data from this pregnant women. We have not started it. We are doing the study now. Because of COVID, it got delayed. That is one thing which I am doing. It is not our core focus for the company, but we are doing it for some good thing which can create out of it. That is about the company. And in terms of most of the people you will join some company, but in the last 5 years, I've seen a lot of acceptance for start being an entrepreneur. The biggest thing about entrepreneur is that, for example, if you are a entrepreneur like Saji or an employee, you can impact a lot of people, but maybe you can impact in the workplace indirectly or directly, or people who are living with, for example, your maid, your driver. There is an impact, but in our case, for example, I have 25 people in my company, and there are at least 25 people gone through my company, or 30 people. That is most of them, that is the first job. Some of them from villages, they don't know English, but that is one thing, that impact is impressive. Whenever they go and you have a culture in your company, they permeate that through. Some of them start their own company, they go to the next company, but still the culture and the lift, what you have given to them, will stay very good for India. That is my feeling. And in terms of some of the pitfalls of entrepreneurship, it is not very rosy. Okay, it is very tough. Every day you have a problem. Okay, you need to have one thing. One is that you should never compare. Your classmate might be collecting 5-figure salary, and you might be struggling every month to pay salary to your people. If you compare, you always will be sad and you will perish. But if you are ready to love what you're doing, it might come back. It might come back as money, as satisfaction, or any of that karma. If you know that and then you love it, you will cherish it. That is a speciality of entrepreneurship. It is a very difficult thing, and you should have a caring. Most of you will have a partner very soon. When you move over to some more years, you should have a very understanding partner. That is another one required, because you cannot go for vacations. You cannot go for a lot of years. You cannot go for vacations. You cannot have a life like her friends will have, or his friends will have. All problem will be there. But if you have a understanding partner, life will be much, much more easier. That is, and another thing which I feel is that in terms of running an entrepreneurship, you should be hungry, because unless you are hungry, nothing will come to you. Every day you should be hungry. You should feel that nothing has achieved. I want to achieve more. In the same time, be humble. I think Saji mentioned it many times, and he is a living example of that from when he's younger age itself. I have seen it. Be humble. In our company, I call Tangachi lady is younger to me mostly. People don't use Tangachi word in Tamil Nadu. She's a Tamil woman. I call her Tangachi, and she and the best performing engineer is treated equally in terms of respect. That is one thing. Nobody can be above other person. But you make more money because your skill is more in demand. That doesn't mean that respect is on your what job you're doing. Okay. And I already mentioned that you should love what you do. Otherwise, it will be very, very boring. In some cases, you need money, and mostly you take a home loan. And in a job, you are stuck there. If you are stuck like that and you are not fully in love, in our kind of an environment, if you are coming from a poor family, you might have to continue because you have responsibility of your parents or loan what you have taken for studies. How do you manage that? For some time, please make sure that you have an amazing hobby. maybe trekking or something which is on the weekend you can enjoy, so that you will be kind of energized when you come back on Monday. Okay. And another one is that learn something every day. If you stop learning, you will become old. I'm still young. I have baldness. I am 52 years old, but I am as young as the youngest guy joins in my company, because every day I want to learn technology. Everything is changing every day. Unless you do that, even at 35, you will become an old man. That is one advice I have. Stay hungry, stay foolish. And because not knowing something is the biggest potential you have. Then you learn it. If you feel that you know everything, you will perish. That is one advice I have. Learn every day.
Thank you.
Hello? Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah.
You are done?
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah.
Okay, thank
You
you.
can ask any question to any of us.
Yeah.
Both of us.
Yeah. Audience, do you have any questions to Jithu, Saji? Please ask.
Anybody is asking something? I cannot hear.
So, let me ask, Jithu. Yeah, see, when in terms of innovation, right? What is the new thing you are doing actually in your company?
Right. Yeah, two things. One is we are location intelligence is our main idea. Okay, main platform. What we do is that there is a new technology called ultra wideband. I don't know whether you have heard. Apple has announced U1 chip. We use ultra wideband for identifying. For example, you heard of GPS, right? This is an indoor GPS. You can identify an item in 10 centimeter accuracy. Okay, that is one technology which we have developed. We work with world leaders on enabling that, and it is known as real-time location tracking system. Even Saji is using in a different way in his hospital. The idea here is that one example I'll tell hospital because common to us. Most of the time, when in a bigger hospital, you take a caregiver has kept a particular thing. For example, a oxygen stuff or maybe an instrument which was bedside monitor and taken for a particular, or even wheelchair has taken to a room and in an emergency and left it there. And a new patient comes. Most of the time, they have to run around because a caregiver is always under tremendous tension because multiple customers. Our technology will allow you to identify it within seconds. Same way, same technology is used in a warehouse to avoid accident between forklift and people. In US, it is a big thing. They lose millions of dollars every year by these accidents. To avoid that, what we do is that we use this UWB as the base technology. We use other technologies in IoT like BLE. There is something called 6-axis accelerometer for movement and position. And other one is basically radar, pulse width radar. All of them we combine and to create a sensor fusion using machine learning. There you can identify, for example, in a forklift which is moving like a car, they can identify people much before the accident happens and indicate the driver that danger is coming by avoiding accident. That is one example. That is one new technology. Machine learning, you can hear everybody talking. I don't want to push that, but we do it most of the machine learning happens now on one is on camera images, okay, and other one is what Saji was rightly mentioning about on speech, okay, and but in our case we are not doing that. We are doing it in a domain in which we are taking sensor fusion and creating the machine learning that is little different. It is more useful in industrial and commercial environment, not on day-to-day consumer environment. That is one thing we are doing.
Thank you, Jithu. Anybody, any questions?
Did it go on top of your head? No? You heard of the ultra wideband? Anybody here?
Yeah, it's that LiDAR sensor that Apple has, right? That they use.
LiDAR is a different technology. It is light technology. It is used in car, and it is very expensive.
Apple has this thing called Apple has this LiDAR sensor, which basically has the same functionality like that you mentioned right now. Like it's used to
Correct.
scan
No,
objects
absolutely.
and like to make
LiDAR problem is very expensive. LiDAR is around $5,000. Our full solution will be less than $200 or $300. All sensors together. That's a difference.
Yeah, that's a reverse innovation.
Yeah.
Tell us about your journey, your entrepreneurship journey. Like, how did you recruit your group, and like, was the beginning kind of rough, or like, was it like smooth sailing? Like you mentioned,
I'm not able to hear you, Fadil, well. Can you repeat?
So sorry, just give me a minute. Now am I audible?
Yeah, better.
Okay, so like I want to know about your entrepreneurship journey. Like, was the beginning kind of rough? Like you said, you had this intuition for everything, right? Like, whenever you chose something, you liked it. So, was the company that you started, like, were you lucky with that? That actually kind of a blessing that you know what you want to do.
Yeah. It basically most of the time, no, everything you will not know, okay, because you know from the past. You don't know about future, right? But what happens is that gut feeling is one important thing. Gut comes because of a lot of things happening. Your mind and body, everything is giving you a feeling that it might not work out. In terms of financially, it might not work out, but I was always satisfied. Other than few months, I was always happy because we were doing something which is generally not done in India. That was one thing. And entrepreneurial journey is not for everybody. And one more thing is that Saji also mentioned, very important. You are running a company. You have responsibility for customers. You have responsibility for employees. And you have responsibility for their family also. What happens is that every stakeholder you have a responsibility. Then you should be very careful in terms of you are not like an employee, okay? And most important thing is that you should hire people who are better than you, because you don't need to worry about they replacing you, right? That is one thing which I have done. I think Saji knows our MTech rank holder is with me, and IIT Kharagpur rank holder was one of the best in my company in Texas Instruments. They both run a lot of things, and I can focus on looking at what to do next rather than doing day to day. That is one thing which we have to be. And there are two ways to do business. Okay, if you look at entrepreneurship, can be divided into two. One is that you are solving an audacious problem. Okay, and your company can be $1 billion company, or you can spend $1 billion. There are companies like that, like Oyo. They spend more than what they can anyway make it. Any one of them, you will get venture capitalists interested. What they are looking at? They are looking at investing in 10 companies. 8 of them will fail. 1 of them might become a success. And 1 of them will become an amazing success. And they get back 10 times of whatever they have spent on that 10 companies. These are big, audacious things. That is not common. Other one is basically try to build a a company which will be profitable, nobody will invest on that with you, because they are not interested in making a profitable company. They are interested in making huge money or fail fast. You have to decide what you want to do. I decided to do something which I feel I want to have my freedom, and I want to do R&D and build a company which will have long-term impact, but it will not become a Google. Then I don't go for investment from venture capitals. Instead of that, I build it from my customers. It took some time, but my company was profitable from the first year, because I might not take too much money home. I don't spend too much money on other stuff, but I run a company where I make money and spend a portion of that for R&D. I've been doing that for last 6 years, and I'm happy about that. I pay decent salary to people. Still, I have money left. I don't take much money. I am not the highest earning guy in my company. It is somebody else who adds much more value than me in a specific area. You have that maturity, you can run a startup. Otherwise, it will be a little difficult in terms of managing.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anybody else? Any questions? Okay, and I think we have a couple of new members. Actually, we wanted to get them introduced. So let me call their names. One sec. Hello. Yeah, so these are these members are studying some special courses. So the first one I'm calling Akila Ashraf. She is actually studying in IISc Tirupati, and I wanted her to introduce to the team. Akila, you are there?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello to everyone present here. I am Akila Ashraf. I'm glad to talk in today's special course intro. I'm currently studying at ISO Tirupati, which stands for Indian Institute of Science Education and Research. It's my first year there. The course that I have opted is called BSMS, which is a dual degree program. Through this course, we can complete both bachelor's and master's degree in science in just 5 years. After +2, I wrote and passed the ISO aptitude test, in which I was able to get an opportunity to study there. While studying in this course, we are able to participate in projects, internships, competitions conducted by universities across the world. These projects are mainly focused on subjects we are interested in. In the 5th year of the course, we will have to work on our own research paper. After the course, we are able to do a PhD doctorate in subjects we are interested in a well-known university. Also, we can work as a lab assistant, professor, or have a job in an industrial field. If anyone have a keen interest in science or more curious about it, this course is most suitable for them. Also, this course gives a more broader opportunities for a science research-based field. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's amazing to see that people are taking science now. We had missed out in terms of few years, maybe a decade or more missing out of science. Amazing, Akila. You are Ashraf's daughter, or?
This is another Ashraf.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Aisha Naufal, are you in the call? Zamil Ghafoor is doing in electrical engineering IIT Madras. Zamil, are you in the call? Okay. Henna Selim. Ida Hassan.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah. Is it okay if I switch on my video?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Can you see me?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. So I'm doing my second year MBBS at PK Das Institute of Medical Sciences, which is located in Palakkad, Ottapalam to be precise. So the reason I didn't give you the name of the institute is that most of you would be unfamiliar with it, because PK Das, it would be familiar if I said it is a part of network group of institutes. PK Das is a new medical college. It started like 5 years back, and we just recently had the graduation of our first batch. So yeah, I'm doing my second year there. I just got into second year this month in May. And about my course, I'll be telling you that I'll tell you about what happens in first year in a medical college. So basically there are 3 subjects. It's anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry. In anatomy, what you learn is you learn the structure of the human body. Like you learn about every muscle, every nerve, and every blood vessel that is in your body. And you learn the details of it. Hello?
Yes, you are
Okay.
here.
Okay, sure. That's about anatomy. And in anatomy, one thing that most people don't know is that in first year, you dissect a whole cadaver, and then you take out all the organs, and then you study each of it in detail when you have all the theory of it in our textbooks. And we compare whatever is there in the textbook to what we see in the human body, in the raw form. And then another subject we have is physiology. Physiology is based on concepts. So in physiology, we learn the working of the human body at different levels of organization. Like you talk about all the systems, like the gastrointestinal system and all the other systems of our body. That's basically what physiology is. And another subject we have in first year is biochemistry. So in biochemistry, biochemistry is a subject that actually puts forth a chemical perspective to whatever happens in our body. We analyze all the processes that take place in our body at a molecular level. And that takes you to a whole another level of learning medicine. Like we takes it to a level that we don't usually think about when we study about diseases. So those are the 3 subjects in anatomy in the first year: anatomy, biochemistry, and physiology. And as you all know, it has 5 years. The course is 5 to 5.5 years, including a house residency. And yeah, I'm in second year right now. If anyone has any questions about the course, I'll try to answer it.
Good job.
Thank you. It was wonderful. Yeah. And the last we have Maya Aravindakshan.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, Maya. Yeah, please.
Yeah, hello. I'm Maya from Bangalore, doing my product design in MIT Institute of Design, Pune. I've completed 4 semesters in this 8 semester program, so that's 4 years. MIT is ranked as the best private college in India for design, and it holds the first position for design courses in India. MIT Institute of Design has another branch in Ujjain called Avantika University. So there are different courses offered by MIT in Pune, that is product design, interior space and furniture design, communication design, UI UX, graphic design, transportation design, RED, that is retail and exhibition design, fashion design, fashion communication, fashion technology, and many more. So the degree awarded after completing this 4-year course is BDes, that is Bachelor's of Design, in this 8 semester course. There's like a 2-month internship after your 6th semester to get some work experience and all. So to get admission for this course, we have a few entrance exams. So NID, that is National Institute of Design, has their own entrance exam called DAT, that is Design Aptitude Test. So that will be a 2-level exam. So the first one will be a theory one, where it's a writing thing where you have MCQs and all, and there's a drawing part also. And the second one would be a portfolio review. So we'll have a panel and we have to talk to the panel and all. And MIT also has a similar kind of entrance exam. So first one will be again a design aptitude test, and the second one would be a portfolio review. So if you, I had enrolled in this coaching class called DQ Labs. So they have many branches in Bangalore, Pune, and Chennai. So they really helped me with, guided me on cracking these entrance exams. And then this is a niche course, and there are many opportunities available as it is a creative course, and there are many areas where students can find jobs. Depending upon the design stream, students can find jobs. I feel there's so much more to explore, as it is still a core stream where there is so much to discover, learn, and grow. And about me, my hobbies include cooking, baking, dancing, and painting. Thank you.
Maya, why did you decide to go for design? I think it's an amazing stream.
Yeah, I mean, I was like really interested, like from my childhood. I was really into drawing, painting, and all, something creative. And the other thing was, I wasn't like that interested in going to this engineering or medical for that matter and all that. And I really liked creative, doing something creative, something hands-on, like craft, and also that's why I chose this.
But you have to work with engineers when you come.
Yeah, we do have to work with engineers, especially in product design. But yeah, that's fine. I mean, I still get to do my drawing and creative. I get to show my creative skills and all that. So yeah.
It was wonderful. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So now we have, people who can cut the body, and some people can design the body and all, right? So there are all sorts of. Okay, so I think we are, almost the end of the session. I think we are a little bit overshoot, but I think it is okay. Maybe for being tomorrow is a holiday, right? So, anybody else has got any questions to Saji and Jithu? I think they are actually staying late, for us. And thank you, Saji. Thank you, Jithu. It was a wonderful experience, whatever you were sharing, right? A lot of lessons for our young generation.
I think that's it's an amazing thing what you're doing, because this is future, right? We are almost
done.
Back end of our career. You have
Ashraf,
and the kind of
enthusiasm
what we see throughout. I've seen in every aspect of youngsters. No? They are not worried about anything, because isn't it the way we grew up with scarcity? They don't have that feeling. That is amazing. Saji?
Yeah, thank you for having us. But maybe when we grew up, we didn't have things, because it's so that helped us too. So I remember, like, my first overseas assignment was to Mexico. That was into a project I never worked on. I mean, no idea. So in those days, when I was in TCS, we used to say, they don't teach you swimming, but they will take you to the swimming, the brim of the swimming pool and push you there. Because of the hardship that we had, or the way we grew up, that helped us to survive in such situations. So, yeah. So it's if you take America, so most of the CEOs or the leaders they all came from rural background, because there they had the challenges of life, which seasoned them to, because it's when you grew up in your career and in your corporate life, so there will be a lot of challenges. It's not the theory or the what we learn in academic institutions. It's a struggle there. So it is in terms of interpersonal interactions, and then other politics, all those things, the organization culture. So if you have to survive and thrive in such an environment, your hardships. So the new generation, it's a lot of people are taking for granted. So I think what we had in our life, so that would have seasoned us to survive and thrive, isn't it?
I want to introduce my daughter.
Hello.
She's in final year BTech in medical electronics, BMS College.
Yeah, welcome. That's wonderful. So I think you can be part of our group.
I talked about Saji yesterday also. Ashraf, she knows.
Yeah. Nice. She's into 4th year, right? Or
she's almost done. Yeah.
Okay.
The last month.
Okay.
She'll be helping me in our project with Jepiago, and it is from Gates Foundation.
Okay, so she's starting as an entrepreneur. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night. Yeah, these are our actually, some people you'll see, basically they are from our team, no? They got into new jobs.
Oh, really? Let me see.
So,
Career.
yeah. So some people are in Delhi, and then they are Gulf, and then one person in Bangalore. And then we have, I think one of these is my daughter. And the right side, Hania. And then some people are into, doctors. And then somebody in TCS. And there are two people in Bangalore again. Then there are twins, one in Oracle and the other one in some bank actually. And then Lubna, she is into Canada. And then, Fida into, psychology in Perindalmana. So these are all our group members. So, we are just recognizing them, so that, they got into a new job. So that's why. Okay, so with this, I thank you all the audience and, Jithu and Saji. Thank you for your time, and we will invite you for even our next session. So every speaker will be an invitee for the next session. So you can be a participant, and whenever you get